course. Okay, so we're going to continue where we left off. I apologize for the abruption in the video. Um, I had some technical difficulties on my side. I had to move to another side, part of the house, and I think we're good now. So we're just where we left off. We were talking about character, the different types of character in a story. We talked about round characters, characters that have depth, right? Characters that change, characters that go from they might start off being good and at the end they're evil, or maybe it's more complicated than that. Maybe they're a mixture of good and evil, you know. But the whole idea behind round characters is that they have substance, and that's why they're round. And then you have flat characters, and flat characters are characters that don't have a lot of substance to them. Uh, they can only go as far as the story goes, and I think that's where we left off. And the question I have for you all is, um, what's a stereotype in scary movies in regards to characters? What tends to happen in scary movies to certain characters?
I'm gonna tell you this one right here.
Yes, sir.
Black man, black person always dies first.
That
Like always mandatory. Like they always die first. But thank God we got Jordan P. That guy Jordan Palel. You know where
uh-huh.
all the black people live in his scary movies. But stereotype for me was a black person always dies first.
One thing about stereotypes, there are some hard truths sometimes in those stereotypes, right? Um, so let's see. Let me find the. Uh, okay, I gotta go to home. That's where I need to go. Okay, elements of fiction PowerPoint. Let me just get that up. Yes, that is so true. And let me speak to that real quick. Um, so in scary movies, it has always been stereotyped, mainly because a lot of it is true that the African American characters in the movie are the first ones to die off. So they don't when you're quick to die off, you don't have much going on as far as your character. There's not a whole lot of roundness to that character. They can only go to a certain point. They only serve a certain purpose. Um, so that would be an example of a static character. Another example of a static character might be just a character uh, that that serves its purpose as maybe there's a scene at a restaurant and you have a waiter that comes in and takes your order. That's it. That's what that character does. That character takes the order and goes, and then there's nothing else to learn from that character. That character's story does not change the overall point of the story whatsoever. So, here's a plot. Okay, so we'll finish talking about characters, and then I'll talk briefly on plot. So we have our dynamic characters that go through change. They go through some type of change, not a complete change, but they are dynamic characters. Think of like the sidekick in we were talking about Star Wars earlier, So think about the character Finn, who's an African American character with a lot of depth in his character. He's in the later um, episodes of Star Wars 7, 8, and 9. He's not like the major character, but he goes through a significant amount of change, right? That would be an example of a dynamic character. A static character does not change in the course of the story. So, um, for example, going back to Star Wars, the character of Snoke, he was the bad, evil character. He had some history, but not much. He ends up dying I believe in episode 9? He dies. He's cut in half, and so very early on. But he's a character that didn't change. He's a character that did not change. So then you have characters that are either protagonists or antagonists, and it's very easy um, to recognize. The protagonist is the main character or hero of the story. So that's generally who the protagonist is. And antagonist is the opposite. They are the character in opposition to the protagonist. They get in the way of the protagonist. So every character has a goal, right? Every character has a goal. The protagonist has a goal. Maybe their goal is to save the universe, and the antagonist has a goal. Maybe that goal is to prevent the hero from saving the universe, right? And so the antagonist could be a force of nature. It could be weather, could be a force of nature. Um, it could be an animal attack. That could be a force of nature. You just never know what an antagonist is going to be. So there's a famous novel, you probably heard of it, Moby Dick, right? Moby Dick. And in that book, Ishmael, the main character, his main goal is to harpoon the whale. So you have this mighty, mighty force of nature, the whale, and he's going to, and his goal is to harpoon it to capture the whale. So it's like, it's like biblical. It's an enormous, ginormous task for one individual to attack the mighty, mighty whale. So that would be an example of an antagonist being a force of nature. Methods of characterization. How do we figure out what type of people the characters are? The character's own words and actions can give us an idea of what they're like. So we just read the excerpt from Catcher in the Rye of Colden Hofield, the main character, and we all agree that he seems very depressed and lonely in New York City, the largest city in the world. But how do we know that? Because he literally says, I'm lonely, right? He literally says it. That's his own actions, right? And then we imagine him being alone by himself, maybe taking a job where he could be, maybe he's a security guard, um, so he could be alone by himself all the time, right? So that would be an example of an action related to a character. Direct quotes from the story will give us probably the most clearest clue of a character. Direct quotes. Uh, so what a character says matters greatly. We get a whole idea of what a character is all about. Physical appearances. Physical appearances is key. Um, I didn't mention Breaking Bad. Hey, are you all familiar with Breaking Bad? Have you seen Breaking Bad? It's on Netflix, by the way.
Of course, you've seen Brad. I mean, I have. I
Of
like.
course. Oh wow.
I
You'll
like
be
drug crime, freaking narcos, and all that stuff.
Hey, Adrian, you would be surprised. Oh, I'm sorry. Who's speaking?
Mario, I'm sorry.
Okay. Mario, you would be surprised of how many people who have not seen Breaking Bad. Because I love that I love it as an example. I love to bring it up in class. Uh, but he goes through Walter White, the main character, goes through a physical appearance change. Obviously, with the cancer, he starts coughing, having coughing fits, gets real sick. But he also goes through a physical change where he goes from like kind of like this Ned Flanders
from the square
from
to a gangster.
Simpsons. Yeah, he goes from a square to this
To a gangster.
criminal. He wears a derby hat, wears dark sunglasses. I mean, he goes through the entire change, right? And
Yep.
so his physical appearance changes as the story goes along. The reaction of other characters is important. How a character reacts to a change of character. Obviously, Walter White was a family man in Breaking Bad, and his family got to see him change, and were very appalled by his change. So there's a show that I'm currently watching called Ozark that kind of goes through a similarity. Where the
Ozark is good, man. I
yeah,
love Ozark.
you're kind of seeing a theme with me, right? I like these crime shows.
Yeah, yeah.
Character
Have you watched?
thoughts.
Have you watched Power?
I have not.
That's a good one. You should check out. It's the same kind of concept.
I think I will. Thank you. I think I will. Characters' thoughts. What are they thinking on the inside? Sometimes their dreams can be a clue into what they're thinking. Sometimes the character dreams, that's part of their thoughts, and that can reveal something about about the character. Any questions so far? And how are we on time? 11:27. Okay, so we have a few more minutes. See, I don't think we're going to get to plot, but I'm just going to tell you a little something about plot really quickly. So, plot is very similar. I mean, very similar, very easy to remember. It's the sequence, the series of sequence of events and actions that take place in the story. Okay, so so we covered plot, we covered uh, character, and we covered setting. Okay, so when you're reading Major Aranda's hand, I want you to pay attention to the plot, how the story is set up. Um, think of the plot as a timeline. Okay, think of the plot as a timeline, um, and then think about the character Major Aranda. Think about the hand. How is that hand a character in the novel or in the story? Think about setting. How setting gives us a clue as to how to read that story. Okay, that story going forward. Um, if you do not have, just a reminder, if you do not have the book yet, I uploaded the PDF of the story, so it is available to read. I wanted to cover also his bio, but I'll just post a Wikipedia link to his to the author's Alfonso Reyes to his bio. So,
Oh,
any questions before we
yeah,
close
what
up?
book is that? Because I couldn't find two of them on the bookstore, so I had to order them from Amazon.
Okay, that's a shame that they don't have anymore, but yeah, they do have them. It is available via Amazon, but I'll reach out to the bookstore um, because I don't know how many they plan to order, and I don't know if it was a case in regards to the amount of numbers for this class. So this class is capped at 40, and normally a class is capped at 30. So I'm thinking maybe they ordered less than what they should have ordered. So I'm going to reach out to the bookstore, make sure that there are plenty of books for everyone. Um, but I'll do my best to find PDFs of our of next week's reading assignment. So, but this week's reading assignment is posted on Canvas in a PDF. So,
Okay,
yeah,
so I haven't got so the Aranda hand, that's the boarding fires.
yes,
Okay, I'm just making sure because I haven't got the book neither. I had to order it on Amazon as well.
okay.
But okay, so okay, cool. And do you want us to write on that as well? Is that
Let's go over the assignment really quickly if you have a couple of minutes.
yeah, I do. I have time.
Okay, if you want to leave, you're free to leave. But if you want to stay with me for the next couple of minutes to go over the assignment, then we can do that.
And those assignments are due until the 18th, correct? That's the only thing due coming up right now?
Uh, there's a
It's two.
documentary,
Yeah,
a two-part documentary that's also assigned, and so
Where's the documentary at?
we'll start there first.
Yeah,
So the
yeah, I
video
remember it's just a
assignment.
video. Yeah, it's a video and okay, I've seen those. Did you
So
do the
you
18th, correct?
yes, so you're watching. It's the 18th, but it's open. I'll accept it through the 19th,
cool.
and I'll more than likely will expand that to the end of the day on the 19th to give you a little bit more extra time. So what you're doing is you're watching the this documentary on the U.S. Mexican War, part one and part two, and you're answering the questions. There are 11 questions to answer throughout the documentary. It's a PBS documentary. It's a very, it goes quite in depth into the U.S. Mexican War. But the reason why I am showing it, actually by recommendation of a Chicano Lit professor, it's a friend of mine from San Diego State. He said he recommends showing the documentary because it adds context to um, why many Chicano authors, especially Rodolfo Naya, who we're going to read his book, um, um, Bless Me Ultima, how that the history takes place, and you'll get to understand how how and why we migrated to various parts of the United States, especially California and Texas. Why the Mexican population migrated to those areas. You'll learn a great deal about land treaties and that sort of thing. So, and the church, how the church played a pivotal role in all of this too. So, watch the documentary. It's linked in YouTube, and answer the 11 questions. And then I will extend this um, through the end of the day. Instead of 12 p.m., I'll give you to um, maybe I'll extend it to January 20th just to be a nice guy. So
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I have another question, sir. So
yes.
do you want those questions? Do you want that in like in Microsoft Word with the in an MLA format with my name on top and then the CLS number and date and word count? I mean, not word count, but
Oh,
just you know what I mean? Do you want it
you
like
know
that?
what? You can. There's two ways to complete the assignment. One is to complete the assignment through the I guess through Microsoft Word, um, and uploading it as a document. The second is you can actually. I think what I'll do is I will show you. Um,
Do you accept Google Docs? Because I don't use Word.
you know
I mean,
what? I do, and sometimes it's funny because I have I've had difficulties with students in the past with Google Docs, but I've also had success. So I think it depends on what kind of system they have. I think that's what it has something. I think that's what it takes. I don't know. I think that's what I'm stumbling my words right now, but
it's
I
all
think that
good.
has a lot to do with it as a student system. So we'll see how it works out, and if it doesn't
Right.
work out, then
Then
I'll
I'll
let
just
you
do it.
know. Yeah, I
Okay.
won't penalize you if you can't, if it doesn't work out on time. I won't penalize you, but I'll try to work with you and see what's the best way to submit the assignment. So if you're submitting the assignment in Canvas, um, first you
That's a
find the
different.
assignment and then you click submit assignment.
Mhm.
And not sure why it's not loading. Maybe I have to refresh.
It says you logged in student view.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So this is what you see. So you
Right.
can see here, there are different ways to
Oh, yeah.
upload. So you can choose your file from your computer. So if you
Right.
have Google Docs, one thing you can do too is you can download it um, into a file and then upload it again. Or you can download it into a PDF
Right.
or a Word document. You could do text entry, which I think is the easiest way to go.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you could just write the assignment here, and then you just click submit the assignment.
Cool.
So, any other questions on that? And since I'm right here, we can go over the reading assignment. Um, so you're reading Major Aranda's Hand by Alfonso Reyes, pages 3 to 10. Uh, but I also linked a PDF if you do not have the book. And be sure to read the PowerPoint, the rest of the PowerPoint on your own, or the link. I also have a link that's provided on the elements of fiction. You will need to read either one of those two documents, and you're going to identify, in other words, find examples of plot, setting, character, conflict, symbol, and point of view in the story. Okay. Um,
There's a
and
problem with.
yes.
I'm sorry, sir, to cut you off, but
Mhm.
for me on my end, on the elements of fiction, I don't know. Oh, now it wants to work. Okay.
Are you
It didn't
okay?
work. Yeah, it didn't work 2 days ago, but now it wants to work. Okay. I got
Okay.
it. So my bad.
So after you do 1 and 2, then write a half page personal reaction to the story. So all I'm looking for really in that part, it's more of a informal, not formal, but informal reaction to the story. What were your thoughts? You know, What did you like about the story? Maybe you hated the story. That could be part of your reaction. I didn't understand the story. I had no idea what was going on, and that's something that we can talk about next time. Because we're going to come back to that story. We'll discuss the story at length on Tuesday, as well as go over the stand and deliver video scene that's already posted in Canvas. But we're going to do something with that on Tuesday as well. So those are your two homework assignments. Let's see. What is this going here? Leave student view. Why can't I leave student view? I want to leave student view. I guess I have to reload those are the two homework assignments. And I just wanted to show you real quick before we leave. If you do not have the book and you want to read Major Aranda's handbook, you'll probably run into this with a little unhappy sign, right? I can't find, I don't have access, right? Just click the title and it'll take you straight to the essay. You click the title, it'll take you straight to the story. You get a little brief bio about about Alfonso Reyes, the author, and then the story itself.
I had one last question before I take off because I'm at work
Yes,
still. But
yes,
okay,
Jason. Mhm.
okay, because the first session it was on Tuesday, correct? I didn't go, and I'm here right now. But in case, because it's kind of hard for me because I'm at work most of the time
Yeah.
during the morning. If I
Mhm.
can't, as long as I do the journal entry, correct, I'll be fine.
As
And
long
watch
as
the
you,
videos, of course.
yeah, watch the videos. If you can't make the videos, again, Zoom lectures are voluntary; they're not mandatory. But I do cover a lot of content in the in, during Zoom lectures. Um, it's also a great opportunity to discuss, to talk about the stories, whatever's being assigned. And also in the future, I'll be inviting guests to come in and share their thoughts. And sometimes those guests may be assigned stories or poems. So
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try to catch it. Like I said, it's because when I added your class, it didn't say a time, and I was hoping that it would be in the afternoon your class. So I was like, when you told me in the morning, I was like, oh man. But I'll try my best. I mean, because I'm like I work during the weekdays. I'm not up since 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm
oh
off at
wow,
1:30.
wow, busy.
To get to add your class today,
That
I had to
just like
I had
all
to
of
come in
us.
at 3. Yeah, today to get out of your class to actually see your class, I had to come in at 3.
Wow,
So I
wow.
can try to catch up.
Oh
So I
man,
mean, I haven't really slept. I only slept like 2 hours.
wow. More power to
Yeah,
you.
so
And I think I hear um I don't know, sounds like you're outside in a warehouse or a docking area or something. I hear a
yeah,
beep.
it's 'cause I work with beer. I work at the beer company.
You work at the beer company. Okay.
Yeah, for Valuable.
All
But
right. Give me
yeah,
want to
but
stop my video, but
so what happens if I attend one class? Do I still have to do a journal or just do the journal or do both?
you still got to do the journal.
Okay, that's fine.
You
I'll
still
do it.
have to do the journal.
As long okay, so it's gonna be under assignments and it'll say journal. It'll say journal. I have a topic, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay, and the two assignments due is the videos, those 2 videos on YouTube, and okay, I'll get it done by this weekend.
Okay. Sounds good. And let me answer that question in the chat. I've seen it. Love it. Okay. Fantastic. All
What journal?
righty.
You have to write a journal?
We will be writing a journal. Stay tuned. It's in the syllabus, but I'm my I'm
Mm.
we're doing attendance via journals. That's how we're going to do attendance during the semester. So because of discussion, I initially had attendance as part of the discussion, but it was a little complicated. So I'm actually simplifying the process. I know it may sound a little like, wait a minute, what's he doing? It's gonna work. It's gonna work out. It's actually gonna work out for the better. It's gonna work out for
Right.
the
Yeah. I have no problem writing a journal. You want me to write my own personal journal?
no,
Like,
no, no, that's, no,
like,
no, 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 no. And it's not gonna
oh,
be like that. All of our journals will be tied to what we're writing
got
or
it.
what we're
Okay.
reading, what we're reading. So
Okay.
we'll be
I
tied
got
to,
it.
yeah, yeah. So I'm not gonna pry into your personal life or anything like that. So.
I mean, I'm more than happy to share my personal life. I'm not. I'm really not like a. You know, if you want to know something, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Well,
But
appreciate
yeah,
that. Appreciate that, but don't
And
want
this,
to like
this
startle anyone who doesn't want to go down that road. I understand. All
all right.
righty. Well, I'm gonna close up shop here. If you have anything else you want to add, stick
this
around.
week's sorry. This week's journal was the thing describing yourself, right? Talking about yourself was this week's journal, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh, you mean the
Okay.
person? You mean the discussion?
yes.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, that's
counting that as attendance
yeah.
for this week. For
Okay,
this week,
cool.
just this week.
Okay.
Okay,
And for now on, they're gonna be under assignments. Okay. Okay.
correct.
All right.
Uh,
It was good seeing you. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you.
All right. Great seeing you. I'm gonna stop the video.